Hey, if you're anything like me, you probably feel a little uneasy every time you think about dropping a few $100s on a spotting scope that might end up gathering dust on a shelf. You've seen the glossy ads, you've read the hype, but you're still asking yourself, will this actually help me see the birds I'm after, or am I just paying for a name? The truth is, with a product that sits at the high end of the market, the margin for error feels bigger. If you're trying to decide whether the Zeiss Victory Harpia 85 spotting scope is the right tool for your outings, stick around, because I've dug into what the scope really offers, what the everyday user is likely to experience, and where the value actually lives. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's start with a quick picture of the typical day for a spotting scope owner. Imagine you're out early in the morning, the dew's still hanging on the grass, and you're trying to locate a flock of waterfowl on a distant lake. The sky is clear, but there's a thin mist rolling off the water's surface. In that moment, you need a scope that can give you a bright, sharp image without having to constantly readjust focus or fight glare. The Victory Harpia 85 claims a clear view in any weather, and that promise hinges on a few key design choices: an elaborate lens system, Zeiss T** coating, and what Zeiss calls the comfort vision concept. The elaborate lens system is essentially a stack of high-precision glass elements that work together to reduce chromatic aberrations and improve contrast. In practical terms, this means that when you're looking at a bird perched 1,200 yards away, the edges of the image stay crisp rather than turning into a washed-out blur. For someone who spends weekends chasing raptors or trying to capture a sharp photo of a distant owl, that level of clarity can make the difference between a satisfying observation and a frustrating miss. The T** coating further reduces internal reflections, which translates to less glare when the sun is low or when you're looking at subjects that are backlit. I've tried a few mid-range scopes that struggle with flare in those conditions, and the Harpia's coating seems to keep the view clean even with the occasional sunrise glow. Now, the comfort vision concept is all about ergonomics and eye relief. Zeiss engineers designed the eyepiece to sit farther from the eye while still maintaining the full field of view, which is a boon if you wear glasses or if you simply need a comfortable viewing pose for longer periods. In my field tests, the ability to keep the scope steady without hunching over was noticeable. It's the kind of detail you might dismiss as just comfort, but after an hour of steady watching, you start to appreciate the reduced neck strain. For birdwatchers who often have to stay still for extended bouts, this ergonomic advantage could be a hidden cost saver. Less fatigue means more time observing, which is the real goal. One area where the Harpia 85 truly shines is its dual-speed focus knob. This is a small but clever feature. The coarse focus moves quickly to bring distant subjects into a rough focus, while the fine adjustment allows precise tweaking without jumping back and forth. If you're tracking a moving subject, like a hawk swooping low over a field, the ability to make micro-adjustments without losing the target is valuable. I found the transition between the two speeds smooth, and the tactile feedback gave me confidence that I wasn't overshooting the focus. For users who rely on quick, responsive focusing whether hunting or wildlife photography, this dual-speed setup is more than a convenience, it's an efficiency tool. So, who should consider buying the Zeiss Victory Harpia 85? If you're an avid birdwatcher or a small game hunter who routinely scans landscapes at medium to long distances, and you value sharp, contrast-rich images in variable lighting, this scope aligns well with those needs. The ergonomic eye relief makes it a good match for glasses wearers, and the dual-speed focus works nicely for people who need to keep up with fast-moving subjects. Additionally, if you already own or plan to use a high-end binocular or a spotting scope in the 80mm range, the Harpia integrates smoothly with existing accessories. Zeiss also offers compatible tripods and a range of protective cases that fit the body without modification, which can streamline a complete setup. On the flip side, the Harpia might not be the best pick for casual users who only venture out a few times a year, or for those whose primary focus is lower magnification viewing around campsites. The scope's weight, while manageable, is still noticeable compared to smaller, more portable options. If you're looking for a tool you can toss into a backpack for a quick hike, you may find the added bulk a trade-off you don't need. Also, Because the Harpia sits squarely in Zeiss's premium bracket, the price point reflects the brand's reputation and the optical technology inside. For buyers on a tighter budget, there are other reputable brands.